The message of Nanak, the circumstances leading to the birth of Japji Sahib, and the message of Nanak. Now I'll continue with the explanation of these words. The essence of the message of Nanak is contained in 3 words: Ek, Onkar, Satnam. What is this word Ek, Onkar is? Ek means one. Onkar means the existential sound. Onkar is the only existential sound. It was in the beginning. It is beginning of the creation. It will be in the dissolution of creation. Also it is nowhere. You will feel it deep within as the noise of the mind dissolves. The clatter is no more. What Nanak called it as the sound, the unheard sound that is existential, is what Hindus have called Om. Christians have named it as God. In the beginning there was Word, and the Word was with God. Nanak says that witches cannot be given any name. All names are given by man. Omkar is the only name that is not given by anyone. Ram, Krishna, Allah, God are the names given by men of different sects. The only name that is not created is Omkar. And why this name Omkar? Man is a constant chatterbox. Thoughts keep on floating on the inner sky. Constantly waves keep on appearing on the surface. Waves of emotions, waves of thoughts. When thoughts are no more, waves have subsided and merged in the ocean, and you drown into your innerness. Only then you can hear a mystical sound. This sound is uncreated. No one has created it. This is the sound of the existence. This is the echo of the existence. Omkar is the way of existence. This name is not assigned by anyone. Om is not a word. This is the sound. Not only an ordinary sound, it is a unique as well. Without any source, uncreated, it remains hidden in the existence itself. All sounds are created by friction. A musician vibrates the strings of the instrument and thus creates a sound. This sound is created because of the friction between the string and the finger. The river flows. The sound arises through the flow. This is the sound created when water strikes the shore. You sit by the waterfall, there is a sound. Water falls on the rock, a sound is created. This is the sound of the waterfall. Breeze blows, and rustling it passes through the leaves. Rustling is the sound created between the breeze and the tree leaves. We speak, singer sings. All such sounds are created because of duality, the two. The singer and the sound. The speaker and the speech. When all duality vanishes, a sound continues to echo. This is the sound of Om. Remember, Om is not a word. Each language, be it Hindi, Sanskrit, or Gurmukhi has a special letter to represent this sound. And this word Om does not form the part of any language. Science says electricity is at the root of the entire existence. Science revolves around the trinity of electron, proton, and neutron. Accordingly, if you go on dividing the entire existence to reach the solitary unit, then we obtain electricity or electrical energy. The ultimate source of science is electron. Science says entire existence is composed of electricity. For the scientist, even the sound is composed of electrical energy. And the root of everything is electrical energy. This is objective. Science is outward journey. The search of the mystic is subjective. Mystics have reached the very core of the existence by uniting the discordant elements that constitute the creation. By uniting the entire existence, by uniting the entire sense organs, mind attains to oneness. Otherwise, the function of each sense organ is separate from the other. The eyes see, the nose smell, the ears hear, the skin touches. All these are the diverse functions. There has to be a faculty that coordinates the functions of various sense organs. By uniting the entire sense organ, mind attains to oneness. If mind continues to say that the sound, the voice that you are hearing is of this person, and the other part of the mind says, no, this is not the sound of that person, you are hearing the sound. And if you happen to see the image of the person also that is speaking, then there are two different stimuli that is reaching the mind. One is the sound, the other is image. Mind coordinates the two activities, brings the oneness in that state of duality if it is used for that purpose. By uniting the entire sense organs and their perception, mind attains to oneness. By uniting various individual minds, one attains to cosmic mind. The process goes on. By uniting all the sense organs of your mind, your sense organs and their perception, mind attains to oneness. When the different people with different sense perception that have attained to oneness come together, there is a unitary voice, one voice. That is the cosmic mind. The difference is very insignificant, and yet still it is not. To science, existence is composed of the electrical energy, and for the mystics, the entire existence is composed of sound energy. Science reached to this conclusion through an objective analysis, and mystics reached to this conclusion through a subjective analysis. Mystic reached to this conclusion by uniting the stimuli or the sense perception, and science reached to this conclusion by dividing everything into its components. To science, sound is a form of electricity, and to the mystic, electrical energy is another form of sound energy. The difference is not so big. It is like two different persons with different levels of understanding and frame of mind are looking at the glass half full. One sees it as half full and the other sees it as half empty. The object is same, one object. However, people with different frames of understanding are looking at the situation. The outcome is two different conclusions. Suppose there is a full moon night. You are standing on the seashore. The reflection of the moon is in the water. A person sees it and poetry is born in him. Another person sees and music is born in him. The event is the same, but the two different people with different frames of mind. One is of a poetic mind, the other is of the musical mind. And if there is someone else who may find that the moon looking on the surface of the ocean, shaking vigorously, may find that a gel-like substance on a big platter and a nice dish to savor. The search of the science differs from that of the mystic. The way of science is that of dissection and that of the mystic is unification. Mystic or religion moved from many to one. When all discordant elements are united, oneness happens. In that oneness, meditation attains fruition as samadhi, and something echoes as the pulse of the cosmos. In that oneness, meditation attains fruition as samadhi, and something echoes as the pulse of the cosmos. This echo is discovered both within and without. He finds this echo like the dissolving notes of an enchanting melody. Everything seems to be dissolving in that sound. Something like this has never happened before. Bemused, dazed, he finds no one creating this sound, yet still it is there. Something like this has never happened before. Bemused, dazed, he finds no one creating this sound, yet still it is there. He knows not the source. Suddenly something dawns, a realization happens, awareness comes. He understands this sound is not created by any friction, not a created sound, it is uncreated. This is unheard naad, unheard, the unheard sound, the uncreated sound. Nanak says this is Omkar. This is the only authentic name of that which is. Nanak calls this Naam. Again and again Nanak uses this word Naam. Remember, whenever Nanak uses the word Naam, he refers to God or Creator or Rabb as he calls, and says that alone is truth, that alone is existential. He says one who drowns in this remembrance of the word will certainly attain. Nanak is referring to this existential sound as Ek Omkar. This alone is Satnam. Each time Nanak uses this word, he refers to Omkar. All other names cannot take you far, and even if any of these names takes you anywhere along the journey, it is because each name finds its resonance with Om. Because each name finds its resonance with Omkar. Try to understand this. When you chant Ram, 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 a stage comes when in the process, when the word disappears and the sound remains. The sound of the letter M in Ram resonates with M sound in Omkar. Thus, chanting Ram, the sound dissolves into the existential sound of Omkar. As you attain to silence, meditativeness happens, Ram transforms into Omkar. Such is the experience of all the mystics. One may begin with any name, ultimately everything dissolves into Omkar. One may begin with any name, ultimately everything dissolves into Omkar. As silence descends, Omkar is. Omkar is always, only you need to attain to silence. Sings Ek Omkar Satnam. The word Omkar has three sounds: A, U and M. The sound A represents the last syllable of Brahma, that is A. This sound energy creates and evolves. The second sound, energy U, resembles the last syllable in the word Vishnu. This is the energy that preserves and sustains. And lastly, the sound of the syllable M resonates with the sound M in Maheshwar. In this sound, the other two sounds dissolve to attain to Samadhi or oneness. Just as electron, proton and neutron explain the three functions that existence has to perform, so too, according to science, electron, proton and neutron is the way the existence is, the way the creation is. And this sound Omkar explains the function how existence maintains itself. Something has to be created first, then it begins to evolve, then it has to be preserved, and then this has to attain to dissolution. The sound of the other two sounds dissolve to attain Samadhi or oneness. Even a lifelong is not enough to understand the essence of the existential sound. And even one moment is enough for this experience. Only the grace of the Master is needed, says an ecstatic Nanak. You remember when the bombs were dropped at the cities of Nagasaki and Hiroshima in Japan? How long did it take? A few fractions of a second. Only a few fractions of a second it took to drop the bomb, and the destruction happened instantaneously. It was not a time gap. Just as it happens in case of a pregnancy, a child is conceived and after a long span of 9 months the child is delivered. But in case of the transformation, in case of destruction is another form of transformation. Everything is dissolved into its components. And the effect of this nuclear explosion continues even after so many years. 1945 it was dropped on the two cities of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And still the effect, the generations after that are continuing to face the radiation effect. So too, if there is the grace of the Master, it can happen instantaneously. I will take another sutra to explain further the sound Omkar. This is the Tibetan Sutra, the only country in the world which has devoted all its genius to inner exploration. Its findings are of a tremendous value. Om Mani Padme Hum is one of the most beautiful expressions for the ultimate experience. This is the Tibetan mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. Its meaning is the sound of silence. Mani Padme Hum implies the sound of silence. Beautiful expressions for the ultimate experience. Its meaning is the sound of the silence, the diamond in the lotus. Silence has its sound and music. The outer ears cannot hear it, so too outer eyes cannot see it. We have 6 outer senses, and in the past man knew only 5 outer senses. The 6th sense is new discovery. It is inside your ears. As a result, people fail to recognize it. It is indeed the sense of balance. When you feel giddy and when you see a drunkard walking, it is the sense of balance that is affected. Just as these 6 senses are used to experience the outer, exactly the same 6 senses exist within to experience the inner, to see it, to hear it, to feel its utter balance and beauty. It is invisible to the outer eye, but not to the inner. You cannot touch it. You cannot touch it with your outer senses, but inner senses are absolutely immersed in it. Om is the sound when everything else disappears from your being. No thoughts, no dreams, no projections, no expectations, not even a single ripple. Your whole lake of consciousness is simply there, silent too. It has become just a mirror. In those rare moments you hear the sound of silence. It is the most valuable experience because not only it shows the quality of the inner music, instead it shows that inner being is harmony, joy, and blissfulness. This is implied in the silent sound, silent music of Om, Nanak says. You are not to say it. It is erroneous that people start chanting Om. If you say it, you will miss the real thing. You have to hear it. You have to be utterly calm and quiet. And then suddenly it is around you like a subtle dance or like a subtle melody. And the moment that you are able to hear it, you have entered into the very secrets of the existence. And the moment you are able to hear it, you have entered into the very secrets of existence. You have become so subtle that now you deserve all the mysteries to be revealed to you. Existence waits till you are ready. Matters not how long it has to wait. In the East, all the religions without exception agree on this point, that the sound which is heard in the final, it is the highest peak of silence, something similar to Om, or what Nanak calls as Omkar. Omkar. The word Om is not written alphabetically in any language of the East, because it is not part of the language. It is written as a symbol, and the same symbol is used in Sanskrit, Pali, Prakrit, Tibetan, Hindi or Gurmukhi with slight variations in its writing style. All the mystics of all the ages have reached to the same experience, that it is not part of our mundane world. Hence it should not be written in letters. It should have its own symbol which is beyond language. It does not mean anything as far as mind is concerned, but it means tremendously much as far as your spiritual growth is concerned. It is not part of your language or grammar or mind. It is concerned with your being, your inner sanctum, and your spirituality. All music, particularly the classical music, has been trying to catch the sound of silence, so that even people who have not entered into their beings can experience something similar. but similar can never be the same. It is a very far away echo. Even the greatest musician has to use sound, but however beautifully he arranges them, he cannot be absolutely silent. So he gives gaps of silence in between. The whole play of music is between sound and silence. And in the same way, the whole play of the mystic is creating the gaps of silence between two words. And it is like the peak and the valleys. Sound is the peak of energy, and valley is the silence that takes you to the other shore. The whole play of the music is between sound and silence. Those who do not understand hear the sounds, and those who understand hear the silence, the gaps between the sounds. The real music is in the words. Many people are interested in the words. When I speak, there is a word which comes like the sound, which comes like peep. Then all of a sudden, there is silence. And then this silence lingers on, lingers around you, creates a parallel pole in you. It gives you the taste of your being, taste of your own silence. This is the state of meditation that you attain, that the Master creates through the scheme of the words and the gaps, through peaks and valleys, through sound and silence. This silence is not created by musician. He creates a word and all of a sudden silence descends. He drowns in that gap. And along with him, he takes you also into that gap. The musician is creating the sound and leaving the gaps as the contrast. The mystic is creating this sound as